Hi, everybody. I'm Greg, Bioinformatter on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Moxfield. And I am going to open up my second collector box of Unfinity. Um, the first box was pretty good, I think, overall. Um, the cards in the main set, most of them aren't super valuable. I mean, there's a couple that people are more interested in. So I don't know where the prices are going to settle on those, but most of the value in this is in the lands. There's some really pretty, borderless lands in here, foils, and some of them have this. So some are what these new galaxy foils, which are very pretty. Um, and so most of the value is tied up in those. You also get list cards um, in these packs, but they're special list cards. They're silver border foil list cards. So from past unsets, there are some cards that they've put on the list and included in these packs. And a couple of those are worth some, like at least the ones that I encountered in the first box. There were a couple that were like in the $10 range, and some that were the $5 and the $4. Um, and so they add a little bit of a boost, to the value. Um, yeah, so who knows with these versions of the lands? They I don't think they're going to reprint this set, so there'll be value there that may stick around, but it probably will take a dip um, after everybody is opening things and selling things off. Maybe the supply will drive some prices down for a bit. But yeah, let's go for box number two. And we shall see uh, if there's any kind of variance in the return here. So the first box, I don't have an overall price for it. It seems like I came close to breaking even. I did get two shocks out of it, and one of them was a galaxy foil. So the galaxy foils are like ridiculously expensive. They're like over 100. Um, and just the regular shock foils are like 40ish. So they have a box topper. So I believe there should be some kind of foil land in there. Um, Hopefully a shock. So we'll see. So I want to see if you can get. Hopefully, I will get at least two again, like I did here. I only got one Galaxy Foil shock, so I'm doubting you're going to get much more than one or two of those in a box. And yeah, so we'll see how it goes. But I think the bulk of the value that I got out of the first box was that Galaxy Foil. So if I don't hit one in this box, then it's going to be very difficult to come even close to the purchase price of the box. But let's break into it and see. Now in the first video, I read into detail some of the cards. Uh, I'm probably not going to do as much of that here unless I see something that's like new that I haven't seen. Because the first video was a bit long, so hopefully this one will go a little quicker for you. So we have Rockstar, Nearby Planet, which is a little interesting. It's got a keyword Rangeling, and for Rangeling it says this card is every land type, including plains, islands, swamp, mountain, forest, desert, gate, lair, locust, and all those Urza ones. And so it enters the battlefield tapped, and when it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless you pay one. But then you have a very versatile land afterwards. Chicken Troop. Slight malfunction. Priority boarding. And I guess the other thing to pay attention to is whether or not it has an acorn symbol at the bottom. So if it has an acorn on the bottom, like from my perspective, I come from an EDH perspective. Um, those are the ones without are things that we could use in our commander decks going forward. The ones with the acorns, not, unless you're in a tolerant play group that wants to, experiment and try some of the acorn cards that aren't too crazy, or really go wild in a pod. Um, okay, priority boarding. So we've got to our uncommons. Juggletron. So for instance here, so the priority boarding didn't have an acorn. Uh, uh, Juggletron does. So the little inconspicuous acorn there. Yeah. Okay, then we have our attractions. So attractions get used as a separate mini deck on the side. So you notice that they have instructions about the attractions on the back of the card. So it doesn't have a normal back. You don't shuffle these into your library. These are separate deck. But there's a number of different attractions, and there's a way to visit the attractions and roll dice and get prizes and things. You can conceptually treat them as kind of similar to dungeons, and that they're this little side quest that you. So balloon stand. If you visit, choose one. Create a 1/1 balloon creature token with flying. Sacrifice a balloon. If you do, target creature gains flying until end of turn. Okay. There's main event horizon. So this is an acorn one. As an additional cost to cast a spell, choose A through M or N through Z. Destroy each creature whose name begins with a letter in the chosen range. Okay. We have the blank goblin. And this is... oh, okay. Galaxy foil. Okay, see... okay. You see the little sparkles? So that's the additional effect in the foil. So like looking at it head on, it isn't as obvious, but in person, it's easier to get the angle right. But yeah, you can see all those sparkles. This is a common, but control. I just want to see. Goblin. Yeah, it's like $1.98 for the Galaxy foil of that. Okay. I am. So this is another Galaxy foil. I am choosing to pronounce this as Devil Knievel. You may prefer Devil Knievel, but you do you. Tusk and Whiskers, so this is the showcase. And this is an uncommon. Okay, here we go with one of the list cards. So you can see the Planeswalker symbol down on the bottom. I don't know what the ruling is on legality of these. I don't know if these are being pulled forward because they don't have an acorn on the list card. but I don't know that these are necessarily going to be legal. I Yeah, so I'm going to have to investigate afterwards for this. But of course, it's we'll see. Uh, but anyhow, this one is Infernal Spawn of Evil. And flying, first strike, and trample. Once each turn, while you're searching your library, you may pay 1 and a black, reveal Infernal Spawn of Evil from your library, and say, I'm coming too. If you do, Infernal Spawn of Evil deals 2 damage to a player of your choice. And it's an 8/8. Okay. Truss Chief Engineer. So this is a showcase foil, regular showcase foil. Okay, so here's a mountain. So we're getting to the pretty borderless lands. This is a standard, regular foil version of this full art mountain. And actually, we'll have to wait till we get another pack. But there are lands like this that are just full art, and then there are lands that have a mana symbol down on the bottom. And at least currently, the prices on the ones that are the full art without the mana symbol are worth more. They're like in the $9 range compared to like a $4 range or something for the other foils. But yeah, so we have a mountain there. Put it now here. Yep, so this is the swamp, and for this particular version of the swamp, okay, there you can see some of the sparkle. It's much more subtle on the swamp because it's like a very dark art, and it's easiest to see in that lighter area. Yeah, so I'm guessing this is like around a $9 land compared to or no, yeah. Uh, nope, I may be confusing myself. Let me just double check. Because the galaxy foils are more sought after. So for a swamp, the galaxy foil. Okay, this one happens to be 750. And then like the regular borderless foil is like 6 for the swamp. So yeah, so I don't know how the prices are going to be dynamic now on lookup, because I think people are cracking packs, and stuff's going to be more available to buy as singles now. So we'll see how the market goes. We have a teddy bear, a storm crow as a token. Put that off to the side. And so now we'll have suspense. My first box, like the first set of lands I got, one of them was a shock with a galaxy foil shock. So I was spoiled for the rest of the break, waiting to see if I could get another one, and it didn't transpire. Hat trick. Several cards involve people wearing hats or art having hats. Down for repairs. Wizards of the Blank. Yeah, so another thing is part of this. There's a whole subset of cards in this in Unfinity that have to do with stickers. These stickers of power and toughness and names and stuff like that. I actually haven't seen any stickers yet, so I'm assuming that's a draft phenomena that's in the draft boxes. I haven't seen it. I didn't see any at all in my first box unless they no I'm pretty sure they just weren't there. So and yeah, and I'm not going to open my draft boxes right away because I actually want to use them in conjunction with other people. So I want to do a sealed commander build out of a box that we may do in a stream somewhere. So I have to exert self-control and leave those sealed for the moment. But the collectors are fair game. A good day to pie. Bioluminary. Yes, and the tickets are often used in, I think the tickets are used in conjunction with the stickers. So it's like I'm missing, you're missing a piece of the experience from the collector box by not having the stickers available. Trigger happy? Okay, our attraction is dart throw. So this is going to be one of these dexterity ones that I'm not very thrilled about. Visit the attraction. If you and there's cards that'll allow you to visit an attraction. Throw a card you own from outside the game onto the playing area from a distance of 3 feet. If that card touches dart throw, claim the prize. And the prize is create a 2/2 pink teddy bear creature tokens, sacrifice dart throw, then open an attraction. So yeah, cute. I mean, it's not great for spell table stuff. I mean, yeah, I'm just a grumpy old man, I guess. Vidalcan Squirrel Whacker. Okay, I didn't see this one before. So Vidalcan Guest. As Vidalcan Squirrel Whacker enters the battlefield, roll a 6-sided die twice. Its base power becomes the first result, and its toughness becomes the second result. If you would roll one or more 6-sided dice, instead roll them, and you may exchange one result with Vidalcan Squirrel Whacker's base power or base toughness. Okay. So the power and toughness are kind of a bank of a couple of rolls that you did in the die, and if they're good rolls, you can exchange. Interesting. Busted. It's an instant. Counter target spell unless its controller pays X, where X is the number of words in the name with most words among permanents you control. Okay. So I think, have we seen it yet? Yeah, I think there's like one of the token creatures even has got like a ridiculously long name. Okay, so here is Far Out. It's a mythic and it's in the Galaxy foil treatment. See those blinking lights there? Enchantment, rather than choose the indicated number of modes for spells and abilities you control, you may choose one or more modes. You can't choose any mode more than once. Okay, so this is an Acorn card. But yeah, I mean, if you are allowed to build around this, you can do some crazy things. The Space Family Goblinson. This is it. Okay, I think this is just a showcase foil. Space Family Goblinson. This isn't an Acorn card. And this is a counter card that is going to do some stuff. The Space Family Goblinson has trample as long as you've rolled 3 or more dice this turn. And whenever you roll a die, put a +1/+1 counter on the Space Family Goblinson. So in a set like this, we're dice rolling all willy-nilly going on, this could potentially get to be pretty big and potentially have trample. Okay, we have the Grand Calculatron. Is the silver border list card, legendary artifact. When the Grand Calculatron enters the battlefield, each player's hand becomes a program. An ordered row of revealed cards. Players can only play the first card of their program. If a card would be put into a player's hand from anywhere, that player reveals it and places it anywhere within his or her program instead. At the beginning of the player's end step, if the player's program has fewer than 5 cards, he or she draws cards equal to the difference. Interesting. So each player's hand becomes Huh. I will have to think that one through. Okay. This one I'm going to have to check. It's Space Balerin. And I don't know in person with some of the foiling on this. Because the foiling is kind of limited, I don't know. Maybe it's not Galaxy Foil. But this is a card that I would not be thrilled to play against because it's got this breaking things into sectors, and I think it like breaks my brain. Not that technically it can't be done, but I think that it actually gives you this whole extra layer strategy you got to deal with. And I don't think it will be fun, but I think this is one of the ones that's at least worth a little money in this set. So I mean, some people want to combine it with some older cards that are in the same vein. Here's a plains. It's very pretty. It's the borderless foil version of things, and there's what I was talking about with the mana symbol. And here we have a mountain. That. Yeah, there you go. There you go. You can see some of the sparkly there. But it also has the mana symbol, and at least for now, the ones without the mana symbols seem to be the ones that are priced higher. Food and a zombie employee. It's a token. And I pretend I'm going to make this go quicker, and I ramble on anyhow. Ride guide. Vegetarian abomination. Vegetation abomination. Sorry. Yeah, death touch. Sacrifice vegetation abomination, roll a 6-sided die, you gain life equal to the result. Well done. Ticket turbo tubes. A real handful. So this is Alien Child Guest. As long as one or more hands are touching a real handful, it gets +2/+2. As long as two or more hands are touching a real handful, it has menace. As long as three or more hands are touching a real handful, it has lifelink. I reading the card does not explain the card on this one, I think. I mean, I think this I suspect that it has to do with stickers. Um, maybe that would make sense. Um, Hands are touching a real hand, or whether it's you have to find cards with the art. Like maybe the hand there could be touching it. I will have to look it up online and figure it out. But that's first time I've seen the text on that one. Uh, Strength testing hammer. Whenever a quick creature attacks, roll a six-sided die. That creature gets +X/+O until end of turn, where X is the result. Then if it has the greatest power or is tied for the greatest power among creatures on the battlefield, draw a card. It's got an equip 3 on it. And it is non-acorn, so we can play with it in Commander. Bounce Chamber is our attraction. So visit, return a creature you don't control with the lowest toughness among creatures you don't control to its owner's hand. And if multiple creatures are tied, choose any one of them. Okay. Claire de Lune Joy Sculptor. So this is an acorn card, but it seems like it could be really fun because your tokens you own become cards that are still tokens. So the tokens won't die when they hit the graveyard. Your token will be in the graveyard. So yeah, there are implications for that could be fun for a game, but you have to have your group okay it because it's an acorn card. We have Slight Malfunction, which is another Galaxy foil. Okay. Then we have Chachki Elemental. Chachki Elemental, and this is also one there. Okay, you can see some of the sparkle going on. So this is a Galaxy foil. Chachki Elemental. Whenever you create a token or put a counter or sticker on another permanent, put a knick-knack counter on Chachki Elemental. Use a unique item that completely fits on Chachki Elemental for each knick-knack counter. Chachki Elemental gets +1/+1 for each knick-knack counter on it. So depending on how many triggers you get here, yeah, so again, rules. I don't know whether it's 2D or 3D they're talking about. So maybe there's a loophole. So you can put tiny things on it and fit a whole bunch of counters on it, or if they're stackable, I wonder if you can get away with that, or whether that breaks the rule because the thing that's on top isn't really touching the card; it's just stacked. Yeah, so you probably got to go with tiny things, unless you don't think it's not going to get all that big. But eventually, you'll run out of space. Depending on your deck. Tusk and Whiskers. Earl of Squirrel is our list card. Squirrel Link. So damage dealt by this creature also causes you to create that many 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens. And creature tokens you can control are squirrels in addition to their other creature types. Other squirrels you control get +1/+1. So, of course, this belongs in the Chatterfang deck if you can get away with it. Like I said, these list cards may still be not legal, I think, in Commander, even though they don't have acorns. But don't take my word for it yet. I haven't verified it. Ignacio of Maya's Marvels. So it's a lizard performer. As Ignacio of Myra's Marvels enters the battlefield, choose armor, blood, book, bottle, fang, fire, scroll, spear, sword, or water. Whenever you cast a spell with the chosen object in its art, create 2 treasure tokens, and it has partner. So, it's an acorn card. But it could be really fun to build a deck like that. That's like, you have to use like the Tagger project on Scryfall. Pick your theme and then see what kind of craziness you can build out of that. So that would be a fun exercise anyhow. If your play group is up for it. We have a Plains. So this is a foil. Regular version, and we have a Forest, which is the Galaxy foil version. And there's the mana symbol one. It's a mana symbol version of it with Flying Cat token and Treasure token. Okay. A Line Cutter. Seasoned Buttoneer. Impounding Lotbot. Dissatisfied Customer. Okay. Blank Balls of Fire. So it's an enchantment. When this enchantment enters the battlefield, you may put a name sticker on it. Whenever you put a sticker on this enchantment, it deals damage equal to the number of A's, O's, trying to figure out the font, of O's in name stickers on this enchantment to any target. I guess O's because of balls. Okay. Ball Arena. Ballerina. Okay. It's because it's a sheep performer. Ballerina. Flying. When Ballerina enters the battlefield, you may put the name sticker on a non-land permanent you own. 2 in blue, another target creature with a name sticker on it gains flying until end of turn. Okay, Pick-a-Beeble is our attraction. I see Dr. Seuss influence there. Visit, roll a 6-sided die. Put a number of luck counters on Pick-a-Beeble equal to that result, and create a treasure token. Then, if there are 6 or more luck counters on Pick-a-Beeble, claim the prize. And the prize is create 2 treasure tokens, then you sacrifice Pick-a-Beeble and open an attraction. Which means you get to go grab another attraction out of the deck and get it onto your field. Um, we have Exchange of Words. When Exchange of Words enters the battlefield, choose 2 target creatures. For as long as Exchange of Words remains on the battlefield, exchange the text boxes of those creatures. Interesting. Yeah, so if you're in a mismatch and you're the weaker party and you've got this, my, how the tables have turned. Okay, so we have a common Galaxy foil. This one is Bag Check. There's the foil. We have Hardy of Myra's Marvels. And this is also one of these Galaxy foil versions. An elf performer is Hardy of Myra's Marvels. Enters the battlefield, choose a number. Whenever you cast a spell with the chosen number of lines of flavor text, put that many +1/+1 counters on a target creature. And this has partner. So again, there's several of these cards that work in weird ways, and you have to kind of like plan ahead. So when you're doing your build, you're going to have to like think about those kind of things so that you've got valid targets. Okay. We have Roxy, Publicist to the Stars. So this is a showcase foil version of things. I'm not going to read that one. Clocknapper. So it's a human spy. So this is our list card. When Clocknapper enters the battlefield, choose beginning phase, pre-combat main phase, combat phase, post-combat main phase, or ending phase. Steal that phase from a target player during his or her next turn. That phase occurs as though it's your turn instead. Yeah, so I mean, I think some of these list ones are powerful enough that they still may not be legal. Yeah, I wish they were consistent with the Acorn stuff. If yeah, so I really have to verify that. So here is the Affinitoken card. It's D00DL Doodle caricaturist. And so you've got a bunch of things. You got 15 seconds to draw a token with a bunch of different things on it to gain abilities. So again, if you plan ahead, that can be fun. It's an Acorn card, but that's one that I don't mind as much. People playing some Pictionary. Mountain. And the Plains is actually one of the more stunning ones just because there's just a good backdrop and they've got a big density of the effect. Or, yeah. So there's a higher density of effect here, it seems, than on some of the other cards. Or at least it shows up very nicely. Yeah, so that's pretty awesome. Clown Robot. And a treasure. Token, artifact, creature, clown, robot. Okay. Plot armor. Non-human cannonball. Draconian Gatebot. Yeah. Petting Zookeeper. Monoxa Midway Manager. So this is a foil. A vampire employee. Whenever you roll 3 or higher, Monoxa Midway Manager gains first strike until end of turn. If the roll was 4 or higher, it gains menace until end of turn. If the roll was 5 or higher, it gains lifelink until end of turn. Um, and at 6, you roll a 6-sided die. Okay. In collection, that's still regular foil. We have Log Flume as our attraction. And visit. Choose up to 4 creatures you control. Those creatures jump into a log until the end of turn. Creatures in a log together can't be blocked unless they're all blocked. If a spell or ability you control targets one of them, it targets all of them. Oh. That's interesting. Yeah, and this one is rare. I haven't been checking the rarity of these. So this one's rare, this one's a common, uncommon, common, uncommon. Yeah, because this one sounds like it's ready for some abuse. And it's um yeah, that one has possibilities. Here's the caricaturist again, except this time. Okay, this is just a regular foil version of it. We have Command Performance as a Galaxy foil. There we go. Starlight Spectacular, which is also a Galaxy foil. This one's an enchantment. Parade. At the beginning of combat, on your turn, choose creatures you control one at a time until each creature you control has been chosen. Each of those creatures gets +1/+1 until the end of turn for each creature chosen before it. So places everyone, the first creature in line gets 0. Yeah. So if you've got a lot of creatures, that could be pretty amazing. And it's not an acorn card. Interesting. Or at least it doesn't seem like it. Winoxa Midway Manager. This is the showcase version of it. Okay, our list card is Masterful Ninja. So it's a troll ninja. Haste, reveal Masterful Ninja from your hand. Masterful Ninja is on the battlefield. It's on the battlefield and in your hand until end of turn. What? 1 in a black, Masterful Ninja gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Okay, you reveal it. So, I mean, I don't know if the implication there is that you make a token of it on the battlefield. You don't have to cast it. So you reveal it, you get a copy of it on the battlefield. Yeah, that's another one where, hey, you have to look it up. There's the Trust Chief Engineer. We have an island. Regular. It's a borderless foil, but the regular borderless foil. And here is the planes, and this is the probably the more expensive version of a regular. full art borderless planes. So this compared to, okay, we got a clown robot and a food token. So if we compare this to the other planes that we just looked at, you can see, yeah, this is what I was saying at the very beginning. We have the, you know, the mana marker there, and then this one without the mana marker. And at least at this time, this is the one that's more valuable, I think. Okay. But we haven't hit any shots yet. Really, without that, and unless there's a surprise on the list cards, um, you know, that's going to get make or break the box. So we have a Crooked Amphibinaut, which is a frog guest. Bar Entry, which is an instant. We have Deadbeat Attendant, which is a vampire employee. Bag Check. Gray Merchant of Alphabet. Yes, that's the kind of punny thing you expect from an unset. And when Gray Merchant of Alphabet enters the battlefield, choose a letter for each creature you control that has the chosen letter in its name. You gain 1 life, and each opponent loses 1 life. So again, plan ahead, and you know, and you know, it's an acorn, so done for the day. At the beginning of your end step, if you control an employee, a performer, or a robot, you may get a ticket or create a treasure token. If you control all 3, you may put a ticket sticker on an on-land permanent you own. Okay, so that's regular foil. We have Cover the Spot, so this is another dexterity one. I did this in the last video as an attraction. Okay, we have Greatest Show in the Multiverse. Myra the Magnificence. Intergalactic Astratorium of Fun. An interstellar destination. So as this saga enters, and after your draw step, add a lore counter to and sacrifice after 3. So as an additional cost to cast this spell, exile 5 instant and or sorcery cards you own with the same artist and different names from outside the game. Choose one of the exiled cards at random. You may cast it without paying its mana cost. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, definitely an acorn card. Pulling random stuff from outside the game. Yeah, so you got to have trust with who you're playing with. Okay, we have Jetpack Janitor, which is our common, but with a nice galaxy foil on it. And we have a Goblin Cruciverbalist. And this is also in the galaxy foil. See all the blinking lights there. So it's a Goblin Wizard guest with haste, and when Goblin Cruciverbalist enters the battlefield, create a colorless artifact token named your choice of A, E, I, O, or U. Whenever Goblin Cruciverbalist attacks, using the first letters of the names of the permanents you control, spell a word you haven't spelled in this game. It gets +1/+0 until the end of turn for each letter in that word. Females. Whenever first letter of the names Okay, I think I got it. It took me a second to think it through. So by you're creating a token where you get to at least guarantee that you're going to have a vowel for building your words. And then so depending on how you've built your deck, um, you're going to want some things that begin with vowels, so that you can use it to spell words with. And the ones that you couldn't cover, you can cover with your artifact, and then you can use the rest of the beginning letters to make words. Um, yeah, so I mean, it's like a little side game that's impacting the game. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to think of that one. Uh, Space Family Goblinson. This is just the showcase version of that. We already covered it. Serpentine is the silver bordered list card. And yeah, I still haven't figured out what this does. It's got this augment on it. So two and a green, reveal this card from your hand, combine it with target host, augment only as a sorcery. Um, and I don't, yeah. So it's going to give +3/+3 to whatever it augments, I guess. And it also has whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, comma. And I don't know if that means that you put this next to a card, and whenever it enters the battlefield, you can. It ends up not being. I already looked this one up. It's not worth much, but it's maybe interesting. But we have Lila, Hospitality Hostess. So this is the showcase version of that. Doesn't look to be. Yeah. It's got foily stuff, but it doesn't have the galaxy treatment. We have an island, and then we have the galaxy version of the island. A teddy bear and a balloon. Okay, let's see what we do. Park map. So one sacrifice park map. Search your library for a land card that doesn't have the same art as a permanent you control. Reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle. So this is to drive the people with certain tendencies. It will annoy some people because I know there are people that want all of the lands to be the same art. So that's kind of encouraging you to have some diversity in the art in your lands. But it's only a single use. You do sacrifice it, so you don't have to go too crazy for that to be valuable, because it could just be a utility land, so that'll be different. We have a Blankosaurus. A Blankosaurus. So it's an alien dinosaur. It's got trample, and when this creature enters the battlefield, you may put a name sticker on it. Put a +1/+1 counter on it for each unique vowel in that sticker. So A, E, I, O, U, and Y. So max 6 if they happen to have one that has all the letters. I have not seen the stickers yet, so I don't know which one, what possibilities there are. But there's a cap on what you're going to be getting. Yeah. Okay. Big winner. So big winner has trample as long as you control a stickered permanent. Alpha Guard. There's a battlefield, choose a letter, untap another target permanent whose name starts with the chosen letter. So you can come in with a game plan, and that can help you out. Wicker Picker. So it's a Scarecrow guest. Creature spells you cast have Sticker Kicker. 1. So you may pay additional 1 as you cast a creature spell. If you do, you get a ticket. Then you may put a sticker on it. Yes, so I shall have to see how these stickers pan out once I do the draft stuff. So there's Astraquarium. Okay, this is a regular foil. When Astroquarium enters the battlefield, you may put an art sticker on it until 1 tap till end of turn. Target creature becomes a blue shark with base power and toughness 4/4. If the cracks in Astraquarium's art are completely covered, that creature becomes a blue octopus with base power and toughness of 8/8 instead. Activate only as a sorcery. So it depends on the surface area of the stickers as to how easily you can cover that up with minimal cost. If you want the 8/8. So we have Trash Bin. So visit, mill 2 cards, then return a card at random from your graveyard to your hand. It's an attraction. So we have Comet Stellar Pup. So this is actually a good card from the set. It's got basically you're doing loyalty via dice, so you don't know which things you're gonna hit. But it's very tiny print. It's very hard to read. You have a dissatisfied customer, the Galaxy foil. That is coming. And then we have Germain, Pride of the Circus. And this is also in the Galaxy foil. Green tap, put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature with 4 or more legs, and then 1 2 green tap until end of turn. All creatures able to block target creature with 4 or more legs do so. And we have the Spinneret Arachno Bats. Yes, Arachnobat. So that's a showcase version of that. Okay, our silver border is a rare Flavor Judge. Bird Advisor. Choose target spell or ability that targets a permanent you control, then ask a person outside the game if the story of what will happen makes sense. If they say no, sacrifice Flavor Judge and counter that spell or ability. I don't even know. Soliflora, Intergalactic Icon. So this is the showcase foil version of it. I think it's just regular showcase foil, I think. Ores and equipment you control attached to uh, Soliflora Intergalactic Icon affect other creatures you control as though those auras and equipments were attached to them. Counters and stickers on Soliflora affect other creatures you control as though those counters and stickers were on them. Okay. That's an acorn, and that could do some wild stuff. If you can protect Soliflora, then maybe that's going to be a target. Um, but you can spread out a lot of goodness with your counters, stickers, and auras. Swamp, regular foil, and a mountain in. Let's see if I can catch it. Okay. You can see some of the bling there. There we go. We have a squirrel and a treasure. I was looking at the progress bar and I looked at the live section by accident and it was set at 0 and I thought I hadn't recorded any of this. But yes, no, we're just over an hour in to this box. So Blankbird gets the worm. Flying, when the creature enters the battlefield, you may put a name sticker on it. You gain X life, where X is the number of unique vowels on that sticker. Xenosquirrels. The Xenosquirrels enter the battlefield with 2+1/+1 counters on it. After you roll a die, you may remove a +1/+1 counter for Xenosquirrels. If you do, increase or decrease the result by 1. Okay. It's only a common. But hey, more squirrels for Chatterfang. Boing. Return target creature to its owner's hand, and then roll a 6-sided die. If the result is 3 or less, scry a number of cards equal to the result. Clowning around, which is sorcery. Create 2/1/1 white clown robot artifact creature tokens. Then roll a 6-sided die. If the result is equal to or less than the number of robots you control, create a 1/1 white clown robot artifact creature token. That's a mouthful. Squirrel Squatters. When Squirrel Squatters enters the battlefield, open an attraction. Whenever Squirrel Squatters attacks, create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token that's tapped and attacking for each attraction you visited this turn. Okay, so the unset loves squirrels. Here's a Spinneret Arachnobat in regular foil. Okay, we have the costume shop, which is a common attraction. So when you visit, you get to put a sticker on a non-land permanent you own. So nothing fancy. Form of the approach of the second sun. So this is a funky one, where it's kind of like Approach of the Second Sun, except you're the card. And so you put the 6 cards on top of your head. You have to keep a balance there, and you have to draw from there without dropping things. And if you do, and you get down to where you would draw you, then you, when you draw yourself, you win the game. So that's a little too involved for my taste. it's funny, but vampire employee scampire, and this one, yep. So this is one of the Galaxy foils. When Scampire enters the battlefield, you get a ticket. Then you may put a sticker on a creature in your graveyard. 3 and a black, return target creature with a sticker on it from your graveyard to the battlefield. That creature gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. Activate only as a sorcery. Lila, uh, Hospitality Hostess. This is Galaxy. Okay, see a little bit of it there. It isn't as obvious as some of the others. When you look at the top card of your library, anytime you may cast common spells from the top of your library, and guests you control get +1/+1. And there's a lot of different kinds of guests in this set. Brim's Barone, Midway Mobster. I did this one in the last set. So this is an Acorn one. Yeah, it's a hat thing. Is this? Yeah, it's a showcase foil at least. Okay, so we have a rare silver border list card, Frankie Peanuts. It's an elephant rogue. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may ask target player a yes or no question. If you do, that player answers the question truthfully and abides by that answer if able until the end of turn. If you do, yep, I would have to read up on that one to see what the restrictions are on it. The most dangerous gamer. So this is a showcase foil version of the most dangerous gamer. It's got Death Touch, and whenever the most dangerous gamer enters the battlefield or attacks, open an attraction. Whenever you open an attraction, put a +1/+1 counter on the most dangerous gamer. And whenever you claim the prize of an attraction, destroy target permanent. Okay. So you're generally getting benefits from the cards, and if you get to claim the prizes, destroy target permanent. So, and there are some of the attractions that have you get more attractions on the field. Yeah, I don't know exactly how that all works out. Our regular planes and the beautiful Galaxy version of the planes. Zombie employee and the food. Okay. Blurbian Buddy. So trample, green, tap, you get a ticket. Art appreciation. So put an art sticker on a non permanent you own, then ask a person outside the game to rate its new art on a scale of 1 to 5, where 5 is the best. When they rate the art, up to that many target creatures can't block this turn. Yeah, so these seem too not workable to me. Or not fun or easily colluded. I don't know. It's like so arbitrary, and it's either you get an honest answer or You're asking a friend, and they have some idea what's going on, and they give you the maximum benefit. Um, decisions is a sorcery. Um, reveal up to 3 cards from your library, then choose a consonant. Okay, so consonants instead of vowels, but the Y counts. Put each card that has the chosen letter in the first word of its name from among them in your hand. And the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Okay. Atom Wheel Acrobats. So whenever you roll a 1 or 2, put that many +1/+1 counters on Atom Wheel Acrobats. And 2 and a green, roll a 6-sided die. Roxy, Publicist to the Stars. Blank Trespasser. Human Rogue Guest. When the creature enters the battlefield, you may put a name sticker on it. 3 green, this creature gets +1/+0 until end turn. For each name sticker on it, it can't be blocked this turn. Gallery of Legends. So this is the attraction. It's a rare one. An acorn one. Visit. Exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card. Then choose a legendary creature card with the same mana value as that card. Create a token that's a copy of that card with the chosen name. That token gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. Celebrate 1,000. Yeah, at the beginning of combat, you roll 2 6-sided dice, and for each result of 1, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. And then for any of the other results, you gain keywords. Okay, and this one happened to be, was it? Nope, that's a regular foil. We have an art appreciation that is a galaxy foil. We have Meet and Greet Sisay, which is a galaxy foil. DK Finder of the Lost, which is a showcase foil. Our list card is Steam Flogger of the Month, a Goblin Rigger. When Steam Flogger of the Month enters the battlefield, it assembles a contraption for each contraption you control. To assemble a contraption, put the top card of your contraption deck face up onto one of your sprockets. So I think this is like too far removed. It depends on contraptions, which were in a different unset, I'm assuming. So unless they put the key pieces in the list as well, and you pull them, I don't think it's going to do us much good. It came from Planet Glurg. And this one looks to be showcase foil. So it's an alien ooze. You may have it come. It came from Planet Glurg. Enter the battlefield as a copy of X different creatures on the battlefield. It has a total power, total toughness, combined mana cost, all text boxes, names, art, and so on. So, total power, toughness, art, and so on. Okay. It doesn't say anything about counters. I don't think you get the counters and things. Don't know about, yeah. I wonder how the stickers apply in that case. Um, we have a forest, and here's the galaxy. Yeah, there we go. Galaxy forest. Flying cat. Treasure. Okay, we're down to 3 packs. I don't know. Haven't hit any shocks at all yet. So this box might be a bust unless one of those list cards is a banger. Let's step right up. Lufferfish. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother. Gobsmacked. Aura. Chant non-land permanent. As Gobsmacked enters the battlefield, choose a person. These choose a person outside the games. I just don't see the point in those because, like, I'm a loner. I live alone, so there's no one here, and I'm playing spell table games, so we're in the game. We could ask chat, but then they know who we are too. Scared Stiff. As menace, as long as you control the stickered permanent. So that's something more basic that at least you can make work. Make a blank splash. Flash. When the enchantment enters the battlefield, you may put a name sticker on it. Whenever you put a sticker on this enchantment, tap up to X target creatures, where X is the number of U's in the name stickers on this enchantment. Okay, so it's sticker strategy. Okay, here's the regular version of the Space Family Goblinson in foil. So it's a non-acorn sticker thing, so that's, I think, a good card. Clown Extruder is our attraction. And you visit, you create a 1/1 white clown robot artifact creature token. Yeah. So there's 2 dice rolls that would accomplish that, a 5 and a 6. Surprise Party. An enchantment. When Surprise Party enters the battlefield, yell surprise and put it onto the battlefield. Put onto the battlefield any number of printed clown robot tokens that aren't touching each other that you had on the battlefield before you cast Surprise Party, and that weren't spotted by an opponent before you cast Surprise Party. Robots you control get +1/+0 and have vigilance. Battlefield. Oh, okay. So I missed a key word there, or glossed over it. It says put any number of printed clown robot tokens that aren't touching each other that you hid on the battlefield before you cast Surprise Party, and that weren't spotted by an opponent before you cast Surprise Party. So you're trying to cheat out these clown tokens. So I guess you're trying to put them underneath cards that you're putting on the battlefield, and if they don't happen to notice and you get this out, then you can take them out, make them, yeah. So I think it's something like that. Questionable Cuisine. This is a Galaxy common. We have Fluoros of Mira's Marvels also in the Galaxy foil. As Fluoros Mirrors Marvels enters the battlefield, choose a number greater than 0. Whenever you cast a spell with power, toughness, or loyalty equal to the chosen number, target artifact or creature becomes an artifact creature with the base power and toughness XX until end of turn, where X is the chosen number. And it's got a partner. Manaxa Midway Manager, which is in Showcase. That's an uncommon. Handy Danny Clone Machine. Okay, so it's rare. List card. 2 tap, create a 2/2 colorless homunculus creature token. It must be represented by a unique It must be represented by a unique hand and 2 fingers at all times, or it ceases to exist. I have no clue what that means. Yep. So I don't understand that one. Party of Myra's Marvels, and it could be Mira's Marvels. I've been calling it Myra's the whole time. So this is a showcase. And as Hardy of Mira's Marvels enters the battlefield, choose a number. Whenever you cast a spell with the chosen number of lines of flavor text, put that many +1/+1 counters on the target creature and has partner. We have a mountain, and we have a forest with the. So that's pretty. Galaxy foil. Clown robot and food. Okay, our final 2 packs here. Electrocute. Amped up. An incident has occurred. Choose one or both. Destroy target creature with flying. Destroy target attraction. Is put into the owner's junkyard. You may apologize. If you do, you gain 3 life. Yeah, so because the attractions are their own little mini deck, I think they needed an extra zone, the junkyard, to serve as the graveyard for those. So you can't put you don't put those attractions into your graveyard. You put them into the junkyard. Finishing move. You get 2 tickets. Then you may put a sticker. Non-land permanent you own. Target creature you control deals damage equals to its power to a target creature you don't control. So if you got a big old creature. Pietra, Crafter of Clowns. Haste. Robots you control get +1/+1. You gotta pay for the privilege of this. So you pay and you tap and tell a joke you haven't told this game to someone outside the game. Create a 1/1 white clown robot artifact creature token. If that person laughed, the token gains haste until the end of turn. It's like, forcing people to invent humor. It ought to flow naturally. Okay, here's the Midway Mobster again. We have the Superlatorium. So that's an uncommon attraction. So an opponent chooses the cutest, the loudest, or the strongest. You choose a creature, then ask a person outside the game to choose which creature that best fits the chosen criteria. If they choose the same creature you chose, claim the prize, which is to create 2 1/1 red balloon creature tokens with flying, and then you sacrifice it. Spelling Bee, Flying and Death Touch. Whenever Spelling Bee deals combat damage to a player, that player looks at the top card of your library and chooses a word on that card. You spell that word. If you spell it correctly, draw a card. Otherwise, scry one. Okay. Quiz time, hotshot. Wicker Picker, the Galaxy foil. Scarecrow Guest. The most dangerous gamer, I think it's just a regular foil. We went over that one already. And here's another Brims. And this is a showcase foil. Old Fogey. So here's our silver border. It's a stunt summon dinosaur. Phasing cumulative upkeep 1. Echo fading 3. Bands with other dinosaurs, protection from hominids, snow-covered planeswalk, flanking, rampage 2. Wow, and it's a 7/7. I don't know how all that comes together, so they picked a bunch of ones that, yeah, a bunch of keywords I need to look up to understand. But it looks like it's at least a rare, so who knows? Maybe it's. So here is. We have Comet Stellar Pup, which is yeah, we covered this one. So this is the I'm guessing the showcase version of it. In the foil, it is not a Galaxy foil. And we have an island, and we have a swamp, which is the, there we go. Twinkle, twinkle, little swamp. Squirrel, and a treasure. Okay. The last pack, except for the topper. We got Prize Wall. Leading Performance. Rat in the Hat. Motion Sickness. DK Finder of the Lost. Proficient Pyro Dancer. Okay, our attraction is Kitty Coaster. So visit creatures you control, got +1/+0 until end of turn. That one's just a common one. Grand Marshal Macy and foil. You may choose not to untap Grand Marshal Macy during your untap step. If you do, put a pause counter on it. Then you lose 1 life for each pause counter on it. Whenever Macy becomes untapped, remove all pause counters from it. So it has 2 in the tap, choose an until end of turn or this turn effect. As long as Macy remains tapped, that effect doesn't end. Okay, so it's an acorn card, and you can play around with the end of turn stuff, but you gotta pay. Step right up. Yeah, so that's the sparkly Galaxy foil version. We have a Carnival Barker, the same, the Galaxy treatment. You have 30 seconds to laud a creature you control to any people outside the game until end of turn. That creature gains trample and haste and gets +X/+0. where X is the number of those people who applauded. Yeah. Not worth it. Um, Pietra, Clatter of Crowns. This is a... Yeah, so this is the Galaxy foil in a showcase version of this. As Garfield intended. Um, Richard Garfield, PhD. Um, Legendary human designer. You may play cards as though they were other cards of your choice with the same mana cost. You can't choose the same card twice. Mana cost includes color. And yea, he doth spake, let there be magic. Germain, Pride of the Circus. That one already. Yeah. And we have a swamp. And we have an island. So we did not hit a shock. Now, a clown and a balloon. Okay. Just on principle, I mean, I already looked at the regular cards in the set, and there's a few that, you know, might be like in the 10 or the 8 or the 5 or the 4. Some of the regular cards in the set are in that range. So cumulatively, they may add up to a little bit, but not much, I don't think. Not enough to drive the price of the box. So I think and I think the attractions, I don't, let me double check. I'm gonna look one up just to see. Control find. Yeah. So in the price lookup thing that I'm doing right now on TCG Player from the collection page, it looks like, you know, these attractions are in, they're listed in with the rest of the Unfinity cards. So really, it's going to depend on the list cards. You know, for some reason, I don't know if it's just novelty that Garfield is there. I had like some sense that at least the original one was worth some money. But maybe I am wrong. But let's see what our topper gives us. So our topper is Steam Vents. So a land, island, mountain. It is just it is a regular version. So we're talking like a $40-ish card. Let me see. Control find. I guess there is some variety in the color. The Steam Vents, borderless foil, 4078. Okay, so we got 4078 there. I actually have to switch the price thing to go to the list, because they put these the list silver borders in the list section. Control find Richard. Okay. So I got a Richard Garfield, and that is $37.50. We'll pretend it's like $80 together with the land. Fogey. $1.85 for old Fogey. Handy dandy clone machine is 97 cents. Steam Flogger is only 35 cents. Friendly Peanuts is $1.85. Flavor Judge is $3.98. It's $4. I already knew Serpentine wasn't worth anything. Masterful Ninja's a buck, 99 cents. Clock Napper. Clock Napper is only 69 cents. Okay, I think it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. Earl of Squirrel is only $1.17. For some reason, I thought that was going to be more. $1.17 for the Calculatron. The Infernal Spawn of Infernal Spawn of Evil is $3.70. Yeah. So compared to my first box, yeah. So in general, not so great. So these boxes are really going to be on a knife edge between whether you pull a Galaxy Shock or not. And it looks like, well, anecdotal evidence. I know other people that have opened a box and not gotten one. So it isn't every box that's going to have a Galaxy foil shock in it. At least this ended up having a shock in it. A shock foil, borderless foil, so at least it was 40, and at least I got a good hit here. But that's like, less than half the price of the box. These lands add up at least a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, but really it's these. Let's see. Yeah, so you think like, say it's 25 for those, and then 1, 2, 30, 10, 20, 20, 30, 45. So it's maybe 65 for those lands. And then, yes, these lands are nice, and they'll go for a little bit. And there's a couple of other cards, but I mean, still pretty far below what the price of the collector box was. But I'm sure. I mean, part of this set is for the fun of these cards, and there's some cool stuff in there to play with. I don't have a breakdown on what on how many of these are acorn versus non-acorn. I wasn't doing that kind of a split while we were doing this. Yeah. So anyhow, so this is an example of what may happen to you if you open one of these boxes. You're not guaranteed, well, you never are, but you have some level of expectation that you're going to do reasonably well. At least you would like to have that expectation. So maybe it's a false expectation, but two money cards, really, and then some level of dipping into those, premium lands. Um, so at least there was a little bit of a rescue there at the end. But it's definitely a loss, compared to the purchase price. Um, yeah. So I have one more of these to open so far. And I think I've got at least one more collector coming after that. So depending on how the next box goes, I'll have to decide whether to open the final box or extra boxes that come after that. Cause like one of my friends, from the Filthy MTG Casuals on Twitch, Jen and Donnie, is recommending to keep a box sealed because um, those galaxy foils are what are going to be sought after. So if you have the box and you keep it sealed, you can probably flip it down the line for a profit. But if you open it and it's the wrong part of the distribution, you're stuck with what you got, which isn't a whole lot unless the maybe the saving grace is that there's some of the non-acorn cards in here that become popular and actually boost in price when they see some play outside of just people playing around with Infinity. Um, Commander drives a lot of the price action, um, or at least it has a decent chunk of it. Uh, it's a singleton format, so it has a different kind of influence on the market. But um, yeah, anyhow, so I mean, it's kind of nice to pull this, and I did get another shock, but it wasn't the Galaxy foil. So we will see how the next box goes. But I hope you liked at least getting a glance at the cards. There were cards in this box that weren't in the other box. So you've gotten some exposure now to what you can expect to see. Maybe there's a better, more complete distribution within a draft box. So you got more cards to play around with and less alternate treatments of things. But I'm saving those for gameplay. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. I'm Greg, Buy One for Matter on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Moxfield. See you next time.